Fun for the kids.
Fun for the children. It's for the children. Wu-Tang is for the children.
Save the children. Help the children.
Welcome to the Get Offset podcast. My name is Emily.
And I'm Joan of Heart.
And I don't know if you remember, Joe, but last year, Reverb, when they released their list of the best-selling guitars, they said the PRS Silver Sky outsold all other models of Fender Stratocasters.
Yep,
Remember
I
that?
remember that. Yep, yeah, I do.
That's no longer true.
Who beat them out?
Well, apparently the American Professional 2 Strat, that's a great line, I really like that line from Fender, outpaced the US-made Silver Sky. But what is true is that the made in Korea SE Silver Sky outsold all other guitar models on Reverb, period. It's the best-selling guitar of the year.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite guitar, though. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I had guitars, that came out this past year that I think I liked better. But I don't know. I played the SE. I know most people liked it, but it just wasn't for
Yeah,
me.
I mean, as far as like when you played it, what kind of points was it? The sound that you didn't really bond with, or was it the feel? What part of it did you
I
not kind of?
I thought it looked cheap.
Okay, fair,
That
fair.
was kind of the thing. Like the tuning pegs,
Hmm.
they had that weird kind of matte finish, and I know they weren't plastic, but they seemed plasticky. I thought it sounded fine. I thought it felt fine for $650, and that's what you can get one for on Reverb. It's a good guitar. It's a really good guitar. I think I'd prefer like a normal Strat, but
Hmm.
I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
get
mean,
it.
for what you can get, yeah, I understand that.
For what you can get, for what you can get. Do you want to hear what the second best-selling guitar was? Because I was honestly surprised but pleased by this one.
Fire away.
The Squier Classic Vibe Baritone Custom Telecaster.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by the classic vibe because the classic vibe over the past year has pretty much been on a lot of lists.
Yeah, but that wasn't in 2021. They had the Paranormal series
Mm-hmm.
baritone jazz master. This is a classic vibe. So I think this is roundabouts the
Hmm.
same price. They're about $500, but they actually have standard tele pickups instead of like the Jazz Master or P90 or whatever kind of hybrid those tend to be. Um, just a classic kind of tele setup, and like I get it. Uh, Country guitar and baritone guitar have a very, very long and storied history. Back when it was really hard before like electric basses existed, you would do the tic tac. You record a bass, which like you had to
Hmm.
move the microphone placement on the basses in regards
Oh
to
my
what
god.
key the song was in. But they would
Wow.
do baritone guitar to kind of just like get more of that low end
Compensate.
in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, hold on a second. Let's switch
Uh,
things up.
let's do the songs in A, and then we can move to the songs in G.
Exactly. Let's structure this in a way that's
Hmm.
efficient.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see now, obviously, with the sales being what they are of baritone and more people getting them in their hands, what does this mean going forward? And I would really be done in if they made one in a color that was a blue I liked, then I would be in trouble.
Did you see do you have the paranormal in the blue, or is that Anne who got that?
No, I think that was probably Anne, I think, because yeah, I don't have a baritone. I want to get a baritone, but yeah, the teal isn't my thing. Yeah.
Not
It
the
is nice
teal.
though. Yeah, not the teal. When it has green, it's not so much with my skin color. It's usually the
Uh,
blues, the purples, and the reds. Yeah. That's why I can't wear
I get
gold
that.
either. Like I only can wear silver. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. I just got this wild fang flannel and I love the feel of it, but it's kind of this yellow. I'm like, this is not the most
Yeah.
attractive color on me. But
Mm,
for $500, you could refinish that.
Good.
You could have it
Good.
professionally refinished. Like,
Yeah. If I cared to add some more cost on top of it, yeah.
so they always say Squires are that great modding platform.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's what I
They
said. As
are.
far as if I was to get some kind of like DIY like body, maybe I'd just pick up a Squire, in pieces and or just buy a kit, either or.
Yeah, for sure. Um, Kit's a good idea. That could
Yeah,
be
it
fun.
probably would be. There
Might be a
is
good
a
gift
person.
idea.
Yeah, that actually would be a good gift idea. There's a person on IG. It starts with an M, like math something. I
Matthew or something.
Yeah,
The
something like
Pokemon
that, but
guy. Yeah, I like his
yes, that
work.
paints Jazzmaster Telecasters can't speak together today. That he paints either Pokemon or like birds or cats like onto the
Yeah.
bodies. And I've for the longest time followed them, and I'm just like, oh, that's like one if I was to build like a kit. Yes. Yes. If I was to build like some kind of like cat like Jazzmaster or something themed, I definitely do want to have an artist, yeah, paint.
So I'm pointing. I'm a little far away from the mic, but I'm pointing to the guitar I had finished by a woman named Kat.
Mhm.
Her commissions are closed right now. I
Yeah, she
hope they
does
reopen
summer, I
soon.
think, yeah.
Yeah, I hope she reopens them because
Yeah,
I'm really
I've
happy
watched
with what
her.
she did with my Squire Cyclone. It has my cat on it. It's got the
Mm,
Pacific
it's so
Northwest.
great.
I just like do your thing. Here's some shit I like, and she's like, got it.
Yep. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, her
So
art's great.
yeah, it really is. And the other guitar painter I really especially like, who does custom commissions. Like, not, there's a woman who works at Kramer who's really great. But there's I think she only works with Creston Lee, Sarah
Okay.
Ryan, and she's got a big connection to the Pacific Northwest, even though she lives in like I guess it's Vermont.
Okay.
But her sister is Heather Ryan and used to do work with the Bumbershoot Festival and stuff out here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. The the third best selling guitar on Reverb. This kind of surprised me. The Fender Player Plus Meteora dual humbucker.
Hmm,
Huh.
interesting. I've always liked the way the Meteor looked. But when I went into a store, because this was before I got the St. Vincent, which was like my first electric guitar, I played a Meteor in store and I didn't like it. Like I love the way the body and the style of the pickguard and all that is. But yeah, when I
Mhm.
went in the store, I was like, we didn't bond.
It seems disproportionate for guitar. I really like the look for bass. I tried to get Fender to send me
Mm.
one a bass, but
Oh,
they
bass
didn't.
one was great.
Um,
Yeah.
I did demo the guitar Meteora at Gearfest, and I actually really like the way it sounded. So I think
Hmm.
it's a great sounding guitar. I just think like it has a big kind of Gumby esque body that I think is better suited for bass.
Yeah, thinking about that way, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, when I went to go play it, like I was already like I was like, "Oh, that's the one I want." And yeah, unfortunately, I've done that for a few guitars, like the Phantomin, which is one of the guitars that one of the ghost guitarists or the Nameless Ghouls play. They had one of those at the local, I think it was Guitar Center, I think 45 minutes from me. And I went inside and played it. I was like, "Oh, I like the look of the guitar, but oh, the fretboard is no." Like, so
Uh,
yeah. So it's kind of like it was one of those things that was like I can kind of imagine, oh, that guitar would be great. I love it. That's probably definitely the one I want to get. And then you go and play it and it was like, oh no. No, it was a dream. It was it was
yeah. The next best selling guitar, and I'm just oh, these are all of guitars that were released in 2022 for the record.
hmm,
The next best one is the Yamaha Revstar 2 Standard RSS02T. That's the dual P90 one with a with not like exactly a stop tailpiece. It's like the one that I have, but the newer model. So like I am really stoked to see that in the top 5. I think those like the one I have is great and I'm sure the new one's even
nice.
better. Like it has that push pull for like a girthier sound.
Oh, nice. Yeah, the one I tried, I think it was a standard before the pros came out. I think
Yeah.
I had to drive like an hour to try one because where I live, it's like really hard to try any kind of guitars that aren't standard, like you think Squire,
Fender.
Fender, Gibson, Epiphone. Like it's all the big box stuff. No boutique, no other like companies
Yeah.
for the most part. So I usually have to either drive out or have to hope that somebody has sold something. So yeah, I
Mhm.
did get to try a Yamaha Revstar around my birthday, but I ended up walking out of the store with an Epiphone, Emperor Swingster instead.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's how that happened.
One thing I think Yamaha does a really good job at is stocking like the smaller independent
Hmm.
stores. I
Yeah, which
think
is
we were
great.
in tour, we were like in Pendleton and they only had Yamaha guitars. I was like, oh,
Wow.
that's, really good for the
Different.
community to
Hmm.
have like this store that's a resource. And it's good for Yamaha that like they got Pacificas and Rev Stars and their acoustic
Yeah.
lines and all this kind of stuff because that's going to build like that affinity with the people who live in and around Pendleton, Oregon, which I think the closest big city to that is like Yakima, Washington,
Wow. That
which is
that
not big.
no, and also the name is pretty funny.
Yakima, the Palm Springs of Washington. Next, we have the Ibanez Tim Henson Signature. It's an acoustic electric classical guitar that's on pre-order right now.
Okay.
So that's an interesting one. Followed by the Fender George Harrison Rocky Strat.
I think I saw like a photo
Yeah.
of that when I was looking at Reverb. I didn't look too
It
closely. I
is
don't know. I was like, wow, a George Harrison.
psychedelic. Yeah, it's
Yeah, that's
psychedelic.
kind of what I saw because it was in the peripheral. That's why I was looking, doing research. I was just like, oh wow, George Harrison.
Yeah, the single coil, the pickup covers are
That makes
green,
sense.
yellow, and pink. They
Oof.
are like $4,000. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's like Gibson entry price, right?
hmm After that, we have the Rev Star with two humbuckers and a Gibson style stop tailpiece. Then a tie between the Gibson Adam Jones signature Les Paul and the Epiphone limited edition 58 Corina Flying V.
Okay.
Followed by, I guess, J Mascis. Oh, no, that's not J Mascis. I'm reading that wrong. The Fender JV modified 60s custom Telecaster. I thought about getting one of these. I love gold, but I already have a gold telly,
Yeah.
the G&L with the B bender.
Yeah, that's what I
Um,
was saying. Like, you're not replacing that B bender.
hell no.
No.
No, if I did have this, I'd probably take the royalty out of my offset telly and drop that in and make sure I had a four-way wiring set up. But yeah, that's a gorgeous. It's pretty. Next, Guild Surfliner. God, I remember
Hmm,
seeing these when they came out. I've heard not a nary a peep about them since. Do you remember
really?
those?
Hold on. Guild Surfliner, you said?
Yeah, I'll ping you.
Okay, no, I'm looking at it now. Wow.
They're only
Wow.
450 bucks.
I know, but the colors are pretty like wow. I mean, the orange one probably Andrew would love.
Andrew would love that.
He would love that. But yeah, the blue is actually a nice color. But I mean, yeah, for
Yeah.
449, that's a pretty decent price.
Yeah, it's a really interesting and unique looking guitar. It
Kind of
has
reminds me of
a
the Harmony. Yeah, just a
yeah,
little
the
bit.
headstock reminds me of a Starcaster.
Uh huh.
My Squire Starcaster.
Oh yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. Interesting.
Oh, this is it's like that kill in the bus. I'm in danger looking at this. The
I'm
blue.
in
I'm
danger.
in danger. That's a pretty blue.
So next we have the Squire 40th edition Gold Jazz Master. It's been a year for gold guitars, hasn't it?
There it is.
Then the
I
60th anniversary Jag with the
that's
matching
why
headstock.
I think that's why for most guitars this year, aside from like the Epiphone, I've been marked safe with the gold trend.
Dude, so like we had the at number 9, the 60s Telly, that's gold. 11, the
Wow.
Gold Jazz Master. 14, the Squire Gold Strat.
I'm
And
trying
this
to
last
think,
gold
was there
one.
any of the series this year that was released with like gold hardware? I think like a specific one. I'm trying to think.
Probably. I don't
Probably,
pay
yeah.
attention to gold hardware.
Yeah, I really don't
Um,
either, but it was like the whole line. I'm just like, wow, that you committed.
yeah. I'm looking and I think that the best-selling bass it looks like is the Meteora
Yeah,
bass.
I would agree. That would be a good looking bass.
Yeah. We got Charvel in at 19, some Ibanez. The Ultra Lux Jag came in at 17.
Hmm.
Let me look at
I
that
think
one. I
I
think
wondered.
Jason and Working Class Music, Jason and Tia did
Yeah, I
that
think I
one.
watched. That's what I was about to say. I think I watched that
Oh,
one.
number
So yeah,
20, the 40th anniversary gold jazz bass. That's what 4 or 5 gold guitars on this list.
yeah, I like gold.
I like gold. Didn't see that being the trend this year.
Nope.
Huh. All right, let's look at. I'm just going to really quickly go through the overall kind of regardless of when they were released. Number one's this SE Silver Sky. Number
Mhm.
2 is the Player Strat. Number 3 is the Ampro 2 Strat. Number 4 is the PRS Strat. The top 4 guitars sold on Reverb, no matter when they release, are all Stratocasters.
Wow.
For all, I guess they're not dead. Yeah.
No. No, no, they're not.
Then we have the Player Telly, the Gibson Les Paul Standard 60s, the Gibson Les Paul Standard 50s, the Ampro 2 Telly, the Squire Affinity Telly, the PRS SE Custom 24, Gibson Les Paul Classic, ESP LTD EC 1000. Why do you name guitars like that?
Yeah,
Why?
I don't get that either.
And
That's
then we got,
again,
go ahead.
no, I was just about to say when we were talking about the Strats this year being what was the lead for most of the purchases, and then we think about the American Vintage 2 with there only being one Jazzmaster. So I'm thinking maybe again with the sales reflecting, they're like
Yeah.
Jazzmasters aren't really doing that. Let's focus on the Tellys and the Strats because they are the ones that are selling. That makes sense now.
Yeah, I'm looking at these, and
Yeah.
that ESP is a Les Paul style. So we have Strat, Telly, Les Paul, Telly, SE Custom 24. Let me
Say
look
that
at
three
that
times
one.
fast.
Just a normal PRS. Yeah, just a different kind of PRS. Les Paul, Telly, Jazzmaster. So we have the four
The
Squires in a
one.
row, coming in at 13. The 50s Telly, then 60s Jazzmaster, then Affinity Strat, and then J Mascis Jazzmaster.
Yeah, the J Mascis Jazzmaster is always gonna be like, "Hey, how's it going? I'm here.
Yeah, I'm
Hey,
I'm the
I'm
best.
I'm
I'm the
still
best. I'm the
here.
best. I'm the best of Square
You like
Jazzmasters. Remember me?
Yep.
You love me.
You like my neck? Yeah, that's
Yep,
me.
yeah,
No,
that's
thanks.
me.
Remember me?"
You like these pickups? They're not quite Jazzmaster pickups, but they're pretty cool. Then we have the American Standard Strat, which is a guitar I never hear anybody talk about.
No.
The Paranormal Baritone Cabronita Telly, the American Standard Strat, and the PRS CE24. So we have two PRS styles, um, two Jazzmaster styles, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, da, 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 5, 6, 7 Strat styles. 1, 2, 3, 4, uh, 5 Telly styles, and then the Les Paul styles. 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4. I might have counted the Tellys wrong, to be honest. I might have undercounted the Tellys by 1.
Well, I mean, to be honest, like the was it the vintage twos? It was like there were so many tellies. I was like, wait, did I count that right, or did I count an extra left?
Wow. I just gotta say, people, when you're bitching that guitar companies are not releasing new stuff, look at this list.
The
There are
purchasing, yeah, of
5
trends.
there are 5 body types on this list. The
Mm-hmm.
PRS kind of standard, Strat, Telly, Les Paul, and Jazzmaster.
Yeah. That's
End
they're
end
gonna
of list.
basically yeah, they're basically going to cater to the trends and what people are buying. So if you guys are not buying more of the things that you like to see out there, it's supply and demand. Like
Yeah.
there's no demand for it, they're not going to kind of shift their building of certain style of guitars.
I don't know if you noticed this, Joe, but,
Hmm.
the list of guitars that came out in 2022 and the list of guitars that just sold best overall, there's not a lot of crossover. Literally, the only crossover is the SE Silver Sky.
Wow.
I'm looking at this
That's
because the second best is the Classic 5 baritone. That is not the baritone that landed on the best guitar sold, the best, most sold overall.
that's interesting.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, I don't
I
know what to
mean,
make of that. Yeah.
on one hand, every guitar style has the whole year to sell,
Of course.
versus in 2022 they have 12 months max. Like obviously, like the 12 months max, most likely 11, 10, 9. Like what the Meteora style came out in like March
Hmm.
or April.
Maybe
Um,
around there, yeah, for a spring.
yeah, yeah. Um, as far as basses, this is interesting, and I think this has been an influence of the Beatles documentary. The Squire Classic Vibe Bass 6 is the best-selling bass on Reverb this year. I have one.
Possibly.
Yeah. That's my guess. It's a renewed interest. It's a unique bass. Like if you're used to playing 4 or 5 string bass, moving to a bass 6 is way different than playing a 6 string bass because of the spacing. Takes a lot of getting used to. That's the most interesting thing I saw there. The Sterling Stingray came in at number 6. That's a good one.
Yeah, the Stingray bass is I have the short scale. I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. I'm not surprised.
I like this. I would have that.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
got Rick
definitely.
the 5 string Music Man Stingray for
Yeah, their
his
stingrays are
birthday.
beautiful. Yeah, I see
Yeah.
their emails that they send to the bases, and I'm just like, oh, it's so pretty. I
Didn't
love
they
their
just do
bases.
like the 30th or 35th anniversary Stingray 5 string? That's cute.
I have to. Yeah, I'd have to check the email, but I think I recently saw an email. Yeah.
Yeah. The Gretsch Junior Jet 2 tied the Fender Offset Mustang bass PJ, which is what I have. I have the um actually it's the player series, not the offset series, so I don't know. The Gretsch Junior Jet, these are very different guitars. The Gretsch Junior Jet's the one that got in some trouble because it said it was humbuckers, but it was single coils.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Ooh. False
So
advertising.
there's a lot more variation in these basses. We have the bass 6, a P bass, Mustang, the Gretsch, another P bass, a Rickenbacker, a Stingray. The P bass seems to be the most popular. Affinity Bronco bass, I bought one of those this year.
Yeah, I heard
Jazz
a little bit.
bass,
Was it the
yeah.
Jet? Was it the Gretsch Jet Baritone? I think was this year. I saw some people having that.
Mm, yeah. So there's a lot more variation in the body styles of the basses that are popular. Now,
Hmm.
this is overall, this is not released in 2022. And I don't care about the acoustic guitars, do you?
Mm-mm.
We're going to be honest with ourselves and each other.
Yeah, to be
Uh,
honest, no, not really.
Let me look at the best selling effects pedals. Give me the list. Anything interesting?
I think obviously as far as best selling lists, I'd be interested to see what they consider the best selling so far this year.
Well, the top selling exclusives were the EHX J Mascus Big
Okay,
Muff, and then the Keeley Moon Op Amp Fuzz. I was a part of that launch. The
nice.
Death by Audio Exploding Head. I was a part of that launch.
That was a
Um,
cool pedal.
yeah, yeah. The JHS number 75 throwback. That's I think a DoD 250.
Hmm.
Um, all pedal Jeff Loomis, something I didn't even hear about that one. And then the fart pedal.
Oh my god, yes, I find that hilarious.
Yes. I don't know that the thing about the fart pedals, I thought it would be like responsive to your
it's kind of
playing, and it's
it's
really
kind of
not.
it's a one trick pony. I mean, for a gag, it's great, but like
They're selling for
four
two
hundred
available,
dollars.
400
Yes.
fucking
Yeah,
dollars.
I screen grabbed that and I posted it in one of the Discord channels, mine and I think one of the other channels. And I was just like, yeah, what a time to be alive. Like this is the cost of like a fart pedal, whereas like that's comparable to like a, Keeley reverberator, which only has 100 units made and can do more things. You know?
The exploding head only had like a really limited release. I forget the
500?
exact number.
Yeah, was it
If that.
500?
Yeah, it
Maybe.
might have been at most. There's only one available and it's $400 also.
Yeah, the
The
aftermarket.
JHS is almost $400.
Oh, Jesus. The signature
330.
one?
The JHS number 75. It's the DoD
Okay, I get you,
250.
get you. Yeah, the DoD. Okay,
I
gotcha.
think that's what that was. I don't remember. But as far as pedals that were released in 2022, number one is the Habit. I think everybody and their mother bought that pedal.
Yes, and I'll be one of those people. Like, there was someone that was asking, like, the pedals of 2022. That is definitely the one that I would just say was the most, I guess, kind of groundbreaking kind of pedal release,
Yeah,
and that everyone hopped on. It was mind blowing for what it did. I'm
absolutely.
not surprised, and I won't. I mean, obviously, it's the end of the year that it's coming out, but again, I think also Gen Lost for what it does also is another one of those.
They're not selling those through Reverb, so that might
No,
be
yeah, that must be their
unless
direct now.
the used market really really hits in a heavy way on Reverb. This might be the
Oof,
last time we see Chase Bliss on this list.
at all. Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
Um,
So I know. So then the Earthquaker device's special cranker for $100, that's a
That
gimme.
was
Like
pretty
you got
great.
you buy that fucking pedal, guys. Like it's really great. Like I use it on my guitar board. I use it on my bass board. It's a no brainer. I think buying that pedal for $100, and I think that's a great stocking stuffer. We'll get to that kind of shit later.
Mhm.
But I know what everybody wanted to know because these pedals were released the same week. The Line 6 DL4 Mark II and the Boss RE Space Echo, both the 202 and
Yes.
just the 2. I think I said that wrong. So, like the big Space Echo and the small Space Echo, they were released the same week. So,
Yeah. There was
I
the
think,
RE2 and
yeah,
I think
the
the,
202.
yeah, and the 202, those
Hmm.
are the 2 ones that were released almost pretty much kinda back to back at the same
They were
time.
released this, yeah, at the same time.
Yeah.
I think it
Mhm.
was within, like, a day of each other. So, which one do you
Yeah.
think won in terms of sales? Which do you think sold more, the Lion 6 or the Boss?
This is tough.
I know you looked at
I'm
this
gonna
list and you forgot.
I I'm going to take a wild winged stab, and I'm gonna say the boss. No, I should have went with my first
No,
guess.
the Lion 6 Mark II, and I think there are 2 things that attribute to this. 1, you couldn't buy the Boss pedal, it was sold out, like, immediately. They've had some supply chain issues, it seems, and they can't keep their shit in
You're right
stock.
with yeah, you're right.
2, people were split between buying the small form factor and the larger form factor of this. That being
That's
said, the
yeah.
larger form factor sold more than the smaller one. So the 202, the bigger
That's what I
one,
was
came in at
thinking, the
6.
202 would have sold more, yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I was thinking.
And yeah, and then the 2 came in at ninth. I wonder if you combine them if they would have had more, but I would be surprised. I think that if you had these 2 options and were like, the Space Echo's really sold out, the DL4 Mark II is not, I'm just gonna buy the
Um
Mark DL4 Mark the DL4 Mark II.
I guess the stance that I have on it when I think about the form factors between the 3 of them, I've been noticing at least with, Boss, some of their other you think the RE20, like the original size of that, and you have the
Mm.
RE2, which is basically the smaller compact version. The DL4 is still a very long, like,
It's smaller
pedal
than it
board
used to,
space.
it's a little smaller, but
The length
it
is still
also
there,
has,
though.
it's got a looper, it's got multiple
A mic
banks,
port too.
and yeah, and a
Yeah,
mic
mic port.
port,
I love
and
that.
it was, like, iconic for a lot of people who, so Midwest emo is obviously, like, almost a meme and how big it's gotten, but, like, for that era of sound, the sound that those people worship who are making that music right now, that's the
Yeah.
DL4.
Yeah, the DL4 also minus the bear. It's very
Mhm.
much the
Yeah.
sound of yeah, so, I mean, as far as that goes, I mean, that's what I said, like, it's kind of the larger form factor. Why would I buy the smaller one when obviously I can get the larger, it has more stuff,
Mhm.
and that's also, again, I think they're shifting even with the compact pedals, you think of again, we'll talk about it because I did have it on my list for the,
Mhm.
SL20, they now have released or doing pre-orders, better said, for the SL2, which obviously has taken the form factor for the larger pedals that they used to make and making it to the smaller form factors that typically Boss are known for, and
Yeah.
also stereo.
So the DL4 Mark II you can get for $250. The RE202 by Boss, $400.
Oof.
And then the RE2, the small form factor, that's also $250. So,
The
I
form
mean,
factor is smaller ones
The
usually.
RE2 is also stereo. There is some
Yeah.
functionality that you're going to be missing there. That you, some of it you can get back with their controller expression pedal, but not all of it. Personally, if I had to buy one, I would buy the 202 of those 2 Boss pedals.
Yeah, if you had to
Of all
compare, yeah.
3, yeah. For all 3, comparing them for the, like,
Mm.
the extra features you get, I'd probably go with the DL4.
I agree with that because again, when I was looking at them, the only thing that was putting me off from jumping on the DO4 because I've never had one like at all. So it's kind of an iconic sound that I would have obviously liked to have, but my
Mhm.
problem is with the size of my board and the width of that pedal with literally having it hanging off. Like I
Yeah.
don't have room for it or space of it. And right now the pedals that I have are pretty much the top row, barely move workhorses that I have at the top. And I don't feel like rerouting everything again.
Yeah, you would need a bigger board or to get rid of
Yeah, no.
stuff. Or just have it literally off the board, which I see people do.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you'd have to forego the rest of your delay section slash potentially reverb section.
Yeah.
Um, but again, if it was one, I would get that one.
No, I agree with you
So
on that.
coming in at number 4 is the Keeley Halo Andy Timmons Dual Echo.
Yeah.
Sure, I'm not surprised to see a Keeley pedal on this list.
No, I'm not either. And Andy Timmons is great.
Yeah, and then Universal Audio came out with 3
The
amp,
sim amps, right? Yeah, Amson.
and only 2 of them made this list. The top one being the
Dream.
65, the Dream
Yep.
65. And the other one being the Ruby. I don't even remember what the
Yeah, the Ruby is from what I
last
remember
one
because
was.
I
The
was looking
Vox.
at the
Yeah.
Vox. Yeah, because for me, I just sold my Captor X because for me, I've wanted to, make my Vox be able to like record direct with it or do anything. But since I haven't been able to do that and the Captor X in the room, I couldn't hear it out of the speaker. So the Ruby was kind of what I was looking at. I was like, oh, I could have the Vox sound again, what I missed. And the Ruby pretty much gives that. But the only thing I say is I see a lot of people demoing them either by themselves with a few pedals, but me being like kind of an ambient queen at times, I was just like, I'd like to see it slammed with a bunch of like delays and reverbs and see how it takes it.
I'm sure you have, but it's been a while since the Working Class Music demo
Hmm.
came out of that. I mean, we had a bunch of modulation delay going through those, and I don't know how much of it actually made the final product. Again, it's been a while since I've watched
I think I
that,
watched that. I didn't
but
I didn't see that much of it. I thought it was more focused on the pedals themselves. But I'll
the
check again.
first half is because it's
Okay.
the engineer walking through
Okay, then
everything.
that's the one I saw. That makes sense.
Yeah,
I'll
but I
check
know
again.
that Jason T and I all kind of went a little wild. I don't remember. Again, I don't know how much of it made the
It's
demo.
been
You
a
got to
while,
cut stuff
yeah.
down. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So the Dream came in at 5. We already determined that the RE202 is 6. This one kind of surprises me. At number 7, the MXR Poly Blue Octave. As I just didn't hear a lot of people talking about that pedal.
I I kinda heard that in more of, like, blues circles for that being
Really? An
yeah, I
octave
was
pedal. Okay.
yeah.
It does seem kind of like a dad rock pedal.
That's what I mean, like, more of a kind of a dad rock kind of pedal.
Yeah.
That's mostly the circles I said blues, but yeah, more like dad rock.
So we got 2 MXRs in a row. The next is the Duke of Tone. Doesn't surprise me.
No, yeah.
Because King of Tone, actually, my number is coming up probably in 2023, and I don't know if I'm going to get a King of Tone, but I am finally, it's going to come up
Oh
soon.
my god, your number.
Yes. Number 9 was the RE2. Number 10 was the Walrus Mako M1 modulation machine.
Okay.
That's not the only Walrus pedal on this. 11 was the Ruby. 12 was the JHS Overdrive preamp. That's the only JHS on this list, but I think that they only had a few releases this year. They had the
Yeah, they
Artificial
didn't have many.
Blonde. I
Mhm.
think the Artificial Blonde's gonna sell pretty well. People seem to really
I
like
think
it.
so too. I know at some point that's a pedal
Yeah.
I'd like to have because I like that whole, panning that it does left and
Mhm.
right in the panning, so
Mhm.
I know at some point I'd like that one, but not right now.
Yeah. Um, Next is the Walrus Audio Slovta multi-texture reverb. Haven't played it. The
That's
DBA Space Bender is 14. That's a really weird pedal to be making this list. I mean, the Habit's number
wow.
1, so I shouldn't be too
No,
surprised.
no, you shouldn't be surprised at all,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah, and I think the Slavka is pretty much like the slow with extra presets.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Which, definitely appealing to people. The slow, I feel
yes.
like when you talk about like walrus pedals, people talk about the slow and they talk about the Julia. And honestly, I don't hear people talk about a lot more, but the Mako sold more.
Yeah, I mean, let me see, Ages I've heard pretty much spoken.
Ages. That came out
Yeah.
this year. The
Mhm.
lore is on this list,
Lore
but
was talked about as well, but I think that
yeah.
was a late year release. That was, like, maybe, like, a month
uh,
or 2 ago. I think that's mostly recent.
Here's
I
one
mean,
that
not
actually kind of
really
surprised. Yeah, here's one that kind of surprised me. Sorry, just to move on because we
no, it's
got
okay, go ahead.
we're going kind of
I
on
could
time.
I could talk
The
all day about pedals, so
Source Audio Zeo analog front end plus boost. I didn't. I'm embarrassed to say I didn't know that existed,
Wow.
and I'm really surprised to see it on the list.
Hmm.
After
As
that
a
is the
boost.
Jam Pedals Delay Llama Mark III, the Slowdana
Lum, la, lum, lum, lum,
Slow,
lum.
the Walrus Lore, the Nux NGS6 Amp Academy, and then the Wampler Moxie. So I'm not super familiar with some of the pedals toward the end of this list. The Delay Llama Mark II is something I'd be interested to try. I'm pretty sure Emily and Russ. No, that's not the one that they played on their
I
surprise.
think they've done that on a stream, but not as
Hmm.
a focused demo specifically, I think.
I think it was a different Delay Llama. It might have been the two.
Maybe the two. It
Yeah,
had to
I
be
think it
the
was the
recent
two.
one, if any. Yeah.
Yeah. As for overall, let's just kind of go through this quickly.
Hmm.
The hologram microcosm is number one, which is honestly surprises me. But then again, someone did buy my Infinite Jets thinking it was a microcosm, and after I
Oh
shipped it,
no.
demanded a refund because they bought the wrong thing. To which I said I've already shipped it, and they said I think you're a liar, and I said I am
Oh
not.
shit. Oh
And then
shit.
Reverb made it everything okay for them.
I'm
After that, the
okay.
Keeley Comp Plus, which is obviously the world's most famous compressor, the Earthquaker Plumes, another one of their budget pedals,
Yes.
the HX Stomp, which feels like cheating to include it, uh, the Proco Rat 2, the Strymon
Not surprised.
Iridium. For something that came out in 2019, the Strymon Iridium is still the most popular amp in a box, and I absolutely understand why. It is still the best of them by
No,
a
again,
lot,
you
and I've
hear
played
people
them all.
still going, "Well, why is a Big Sky still after 10 years?" I was like, "It's still on lists. It's still good."
Yeah. So then the DS1, everybody's favorite. The
Yeah.
TU3 Chromatic tuner, everybody's favorite. The Digitech Drop, which who knows, maybe we'll see more of those coming back because that
Yes, with
was
that recent
acquired.
announcement, yes.
The BD2, which is my favorite of Boss's overdrives.
This is
The
a whammy
MX,
comeback.
what? Oh, yeah,
No,
the
I said
whammy.
the whammy coming back, yeah.
That'd be nice. The Carbon Copy by MXR. And then I think this is the only 2022 release that made the top 20 overall is the Chase Bliss Habit, the Strymon Big Sky, the JHS Morning Glory, the Strymon Timeline, the TC Electronics Ditto Looper, the Dunlop
The Ditto's
Crybaby
not
Wah.
surprising, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. And this isn't surprising to me either. The Strymon Flint.
Mhm.
It's just such a great pedal.
Oh, I've still, like, been on a quest, like,
Yeah.
for years I've tried to rent that from Pale Genie, and it's always, like, out, and I'm like, "Yeah, not
Hmm.
surprised, of course." So someday, I'll try that.
Yeah. The SD1 and then the Tube Screamer. As for amps, released in 2022, the Slowdana Slow Mini, I'm not super familiar, but
Hmm.
the Catalyst line, the Line 6 Catalyst 60, 100, and 200 are all on the list, and I think they absolutely deserve to be there. Like, I have mine over here. I don't think it's going to make the image. I did I gig? Why did I? Oh yeah, I did take that to a gig. That's part of my what's new. Um, Absolutely deserve to be on there. The boutique setting on those amps is very, very good. If you need a budget amp and you want to get a lot of sounds that actually sound really, really nice, I highly recommend the Catalyst. I also took it on tour and it survived a week on tour in the bottom of an RV, and that could not have been the nicest place for it to be. Something I
Yeah.
don't super duper think deserves to be on the list, but I do understand why it's there, is the Positive Grid Spark Mini. I think they sound bad. I've never heard one sound good, but I do hear people say they like them. Um, and I don't know a lot of the other stuff on this. The only Fender is the Pro Junior 4SE, which is
Yeah.
surprising. They have
Yes.
not really. I think Jason pointed out they released the Tone Master Princeton, and I've been like they aren't promoting that, but I never really thought about how little they're promoting it because I was like, it would make so much sense for them to send one to Ryan Burke because he has his Two Princes rig.
Of course, and he even has a
Yeah.
Princeton, like, jingle.
Yeah, he does. He has a whole
He
jingle, and
does,
they haven't
he
sent him
does.
one. So I just think they're pulling back on promotion
It just
across
in
a lot
general,
of
yeah.
avenues. Yeah.
Yeah, we said that, like, one of the previous podcasts where we're really surprised that,
Yeah.
marketing-wise, they're doing, like, like, soft, silent releases there. Unless you're paying attention, you blink, you're gonna miss it.
Which is unfortunate. As
Yeah.
for overall, the Positive Grid Spark 40 is the best selling amp of the year. That's disappointing to me. Then the Boss Katana 50, The Yamaha,
Okay.
and then two of the Yamaha modeling amps are in the top 5, which doesn't surprise. Like these are a lot of these are modeling amps. Like I get that people who
Yeah.
are buying an amp online are probably going to go with something like that.
Of course, yeah, and a lot of times when I at least see online people talking about amps, I've mostly heard people talking about the Boss Katana for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. The Orange Micro Dark. I have a Micro Terror. I really like that a lot. The Tone Master Deluxe Reverb. I think that's a great sounding amp. Then we have the Fender Rumble 40. I have the Fender Rumble Studio 40. I think that's a nice bass amp.
Yeah, I have a
Again, then we
85,
have the
yeah.
yeah
Mhm.
Orange Micro Terror, Marshall DSL 40CR. Then we have a PRS, and then we have the Vox AC15. Fender 65 Deluxe Reverb, Fender 100, Rumble 100, which
AC15.
is what I gig with when I play bass.
Nice.
The Mustang LT25, which I got from my mom, and then I gave her my bigger one. Another Boss Katana, Orange Super Crush, Marshall, Fender Blues Jr., Kemper. There's only one Tone Master amp on this list. I get it that it's going to be the Deluxe Reverb, but I have the
Yeah,
Super Reverb, and I like that a lot.
it's
Oof.
true.
A lot of talking. And the non-traditional amps, oh my god, there's so many lists. HX Stomp, in order. HX
Yep, y
Stomp, Iridium, Helix Floor, Podgo, Dream, Line 6 HX Effects, Line 6 Helix LT, Fractal Audio FM3, Line 6 Stomp XL, Mustang Micro, Headrush MX5, Neural DSP Quad Cortex, Ruby, Kemper, DSM and the Simplifier Deluxe. I'm not gonna say the rest. Waza Air, which those are the headphones. The Waza Air is really really cool. Headrush / Terra Stamp, more Line 6, more Fractal than the Boss IR 200. Oh my god, that's a lot of shit.
I honestly, I thought you were gonna do, like, the whole, like, horse race that were, like, auction, and then here we have the katana, and then we have the Vox, and the I thought you
Yeah,
were
I
gonna
can
go down
talk
that list.
fast. I can talk pretty fast, but not that fast. But yeah, there we go. We made it through the list. Those are the best selling things on Reverb this year. We still have 2 months to go.
I know. We still have time. There
We've
is,
got
of course,
time.
the Black Friday, capitalist, holiday that's coming up.
It's
Obviously for
coming
people to yes, it is coming. It's coming.
coming up so soon.
Yep.
Uh,
So,
yeah. Let's do some housekeeping stuff.
yes.
If you like this podcast and wish to support it with money, there are a few ways you can do that. If you're watching the live premiere, there's still time to super chat us in the live chat.
We appreciate
Um,
that.
Always appreciate that. Last
Thank you.
week,
Thank you.
Our friend Robert was
That was
extremely
awesome.
generous. That was
I
pretty
was like,
great.
holy
Robert's the
shit.
man. We also have Patreon at patreon.com/get offset. If you give at the $5 level or above, you get access to our exclusive Discord server. And I would like to welcome to the Patreon Tyler Reese, Robert McDowell,
Welcome.
and Wesley Harden. Tyler and Wesley, please check your DMs on Patreon for a link to the Discord server. And if that has expired, just respond and I'll send you a new one. So thank you so much to our new supporters. It means a lot to us.
No, happy to have you.
Another way to support the podcast is if there's any gear you're eyeing, maybe something we've already talked about or will talk about, please consider using one of the affiliate links in the video description. We have them for Sweetwater, Reverb, and Perfect Circuit. We also have one for the Seymour Duncan web store. It costs you $0 to do that, but we do get a portion of the proceeds back. Reverb's like 1%, Sweetwater is 4 to 8. I think it's the same for Perfect Circuit, but
Yeah. Anything helps. Yeah, to improve things.
it helps, And I favor the Sweetwater one and the Perfect Circuit one just because they're more, you know, they're more.
Yeah, more of a percentage, yeah.
Sometimes 1% feels a little insulting.
Aw.
But it's better than nothing. I can't complain. I'm not complaining, but I do. It does take me a little bit longer to hit that minimum payout on Reverb.
Aw.
It's all good. Again, thank you everyone who's ever used those. It means the world to
Thank you.
me. But yeah, if you don't want to support us financially, you can like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah.
You can also review the podcast on iTunes and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. And what else? Where else can you subscribe? Spotify, I guess.
Mhm. Yeah, which now does videos as well.
Oh, yes, we are on Spotify Video.
Mhm. Mm.
Amazing.
Magic.
Magic. I wonder if we have any new reviews. 2022.
Uh-oh, you start to make me nervous.
2022. No. We don't have any new reviews
I'm
I haven't read.
safe. I'm safe.
Please, reviewing on Apple Podcasts is actually hugely helpful. It's it boosts us up in the charts and shit. Um, we are on social. We are on TikTok at Get Offset. We are on Instagram at Get Offset. I am on Twitter at Emily on Guitar. I am at Counter Social at Emily Harris, and I'm on Be Real as something. But am I on Be Real? Does it matter? I think I'm Get
Are are
Offset. No,
are you
what
on
do you?
Vero as well or no?
I'm on Vero, but I don't really post there. I'm Get
Mm.
Offset on Be Real.
Mm.
Because I thought it was funny. I'm sorry, there's another way you can support the podcast with money, and that's at getoffsetpodcast.com/shop. We have merch. And we don't get paid for these shirts that Joe and I we weren't even coordinating. We just happened to wear them. It is the limited Fangs edition,
Thanks.
and that goes to all the proceeds of this go to the Dave Burton Recovery Fund.
Yep,
So
I was not given this. I actually spent money to give to the recovery. I just
I
figured,
bought
you know.
mine as well. We've raised about $45. Um, So please keep buying these shirts. They're fun. They're funny.
Yeah.
People will be like, "What the fuck does that mean?" And then go back
Hey,
and
I
watch
get to
the
explain
episode.
it.
Yeah,
Yes.
fangs is a feeling.
It is.
Go back and watch or listen to the episodes with Michelle Sullivan.
They're great.
We They're all fangs. They're all about fangs.
Yep.
And again, Dave Burton is a tour manager. My friend Michelle's mentor, and he suffered a major stroke in
Poor guy.
Louisville a few months ago, and he's on a long road to recovery. Health insurance, as people in the music industry, is not
Oof.
really a super duper thing. So let's help him get back on his feet so he can keep doing what he does best and loves, helping bring music to you and me. All right. We're kind of, I guess we got a little bit of time for like what's new and stuff. Maybe we save the other conversation for next week.
Yeah, I guess you dominated this one with the list.
I know. I'm sorry.
We'll save mine for next week. It'll be part
We
2.
t- it'll be a two-part. It'll be good.
Two-parter.
But yeah, let's talk a little bit about what's new and maybe end this one a little bit early.
Yeah, that sounds fine with me.
So
I
what's
guess,
what's new with you?
yeah. What's new with me? I don't know. I mean, again, whoever's listening doesn't visually see what's going on. In my area that I'm standing in, normally there's like a colored light behind me. There's some kind of stylistic stuff. There's pedals behind me, but no. As you can, there's an amp stand that's empty. There's all my shelves that have nothing on it. There's maybe a few picture frames that I put back, but it's very sad in my
Yeah.
room. This past week, the thing I've been talking about for I think since September, they were
Yeah.
talking about taking out my windows, and this past week was the dreaded week in which it happened.
They finally
Um,
did it.
it finally happened, which again, anytime they threaten to do it, because like, oh yeah, it's gonna be this week, I'm like, fuck. So I had to record all my demo speaking parts like early before all these things happened, before said thing would happen. So now I have all the light of an open space coming through. And it's a little
It's very
awkward to
bright.
like, yeah, it's very bright, and also everything outside my house is now in my house, like, magnified like 2x. I can hear everything.
I can hear
So-
birds.
yep, that's exactly, like, you can hear all the local wildlife. I mean, I'm surprised you don't hear the peacocks. Like, they're loud too.
What sound do peacocks make?
um it's kind of like, almost like, the way they make their noise, it's like, like, that's the way a peacock, when they do cat calls, it's one of the things that I kinda do do because they walk around my neighborhood like wild, like, they're invasive and people hate them. But they're
Yeah.
really beautiful to see. Like, I posted, if you look at my Instagram, I have videos where if I see them on my walks, I kinda start to catcall them.
Are
So
they mean? I need to
No,
know.
they're actually yeah, they pretty much they have a version. So they're pretty much they're not very smart. They'll walk into traffic. Like I usually have to corral them out of the street. I'm just like, I can't call them and I'm like, "Hey, where you going at the time of the day? What your name is?" So like I'm trying to get them to like
Peacocks,
walk to the
pea brains.
sidewalk. Yeah, so I'm trying to get them to go to the sidewalk. They're not smart birds. But
No.
yeah, like they just walk around. They're not mean. But yeah, they're very pretty, but yeah, they make a lot of noise. They do a lot of damage and people don't like them. I like them, but yeah, I don't really I'm not really terrorized by them in the way those people are, I guess. But yeah.
Growing up, the Cincinnati Zoo used to have them just walking around, um, but I think they've kind of let them like die out.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
they've tried to recently take some of their numbers and ship them to other areas out of here to reduce their population, which there's a lot of things in my area because it's a very bohemian tropical place, and with the recent influx of people that aren't from here and are defacing the area, tearing down old houses and buildings that are historic and putting up these white boxes that are fake wood and big glass
Oh.
windows. And yeah, it's really the gentrification is really bad through where I am now, and not to take it on a heavy note. But yeah, that's part of the bird thing too. Whereas, like, why do you move here when you just come here and you deface everything that makes this place so wonderful and beautiful and unique?
Yeah.
Um,
That's the thing.
I
It's all
it
happens
doesn't make sense to
everywhere. It's
me.
happening in Seattle. It happened in
Yep.
Nashville. It's like people moved into certain areas and complained about the sound of the live music, and that happened in Austin also. I'm like, then
Like,
don't
why did
move
you
next
come
to a
here?
music venue, dudes.
Oh,
Jesus.
for me, it's like, why did you come here then? Why did you buy in? Like, it's you come here and you deface and you remove everything that's beautiful about a place. Why did you come here then? Like, it makes no sense to me. But beyond that, I have been this weekend editing the LB demo, the main demo. So everything is kind of together. I have been doing that. So I'm hoping by the end of this weekend or the beginning of the week, depending on how things are, if I'm able to work during the way, because it does get pretty loud here. If not, it'll be the evening, which most I've been working through, or the weekends. If I'm able to finish early in the week, then I will start recording the sound, for the house band thing and recording them, and I'll be pretty much on our way for the LB getting out in the world, which I'm really excited about.
Nice. That's gonna
Yeah,
be
so
really good.
soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited.
That's very exciting. Awesome. Some
Mhm.
good things with the
Yeah.
outside
Yeah,
the
with
construction.
everything, yeah. I'm managing,
Yeah.
I'm surviving. It's traumatic, but, this too shall pass.
Well, I got a little correction corner.
Hmm.
The Calico Antlers is not an overdrive, it's a fuzz pedal. Real sorry.
Ah!
Real sorry. My misspoke
Sorry.
last week. It is a muff style fuzz. My bad. I'm so sorry. My bad.
It's okay. It
Mhm.
is something that we can recover with, by
We can
correcting.
I
Yep.
hadn't filmed it yet. I hadn't filmed it yet, so getting there. The other thing is I got to demo the Moger Foger plugins for Sweetwater. So everyone, please check out that demo. It's available now. They are wild, crazy sounds. It's really, really cool suite. Right now they're only $149. That's 40% off on Sweetwater. So check out the link in that video
Yeah,
to
things
pick
get
that
pretty
up.
wild. Mhm.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, it's 7 different types of effects, and a lot of those effects you can get a bunch of sounds out of. Like, the low pass filter can go do everything from, like, funky stuff to just kind of, like, subtle sounds. The ring mod can do, like, that crazy ring mod sound and also, like, nice
Yeah, I
tremolo
bet.
sounds. I can see why they were so highly sought after when they were physical pedals, after they went out of, production, of course.
Yeah, it makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. Another thing though is my singer Jenna and I, we went to Whidbey Island and performed for some kids this week, and that was really
Oh,
interesting.
lovely.
Yeah, I guess it was part of a program about music and animation, and since Jenna's also an animator,
Oh, awesome.
we went to talk to some kids about animation and music and played for them, which was at first we played for like first graders, and that was like honestly really intimidating because they're like,
Very
"What is
judgmental.
this stuff? What is this
Yeah.
stuff?" And they're like, just like they're not like figuring it out, I guess.
If they,
But then we played for some like middle schoolers who are part of an organic farm, and their classroom is literally outdoors. Like their whole day is outdoors. Like there's a covered
that's
area,
pretty nice.
but it gets cold, dude. It was
Oh, that's
cold
right.
and
I'm thinking
muddy.
about where I am,
No,
not where
no.
you
The
are.
Pacific Northwest, like so these kids are literally learning how to be like farmers. It's
Oh,
like
wow.
just something their parents put them into, and they're outside most of the day, but they were a hoot. Those kids were a riot. They were really into it. We got like an
Aw,
actual encore, and then they wanted us to keep playing, and we're like, no, we
that's
got a
cute.
we got a
Yeah.
ferry to catch. But they were really really cute. So that was super duper fun and interesting, and I got to take the Catalyst 100.
Road trip.
Yeah, the kids were like, "How loud? Can you make it louder?" The middle schoolers really wanted the amps
Ticket
to
to
be louder.
11.
Ticket
Yes.
to 11. Yeah, they were really funny and dancing, and it was super.
Aw.
It was really fun. And then Whidbey Island is just a very very pretty place. So
Oh.
yeah. And last, I just got this in like right before we started recording. I finally got the Old Blood
Yay!
Noise and Church's Screen Violence.
Yeah, I
So
was
I'm
already cheering
super
before she
stoked.
she whipped it out. Yes, because
Whipped it
I
out.
love that pedal so damn much. Like
I'm really
it's
excited.
oh, I love the
So
screen side. I
sensitive.
mean, both sides. Like I love that pedal to death.
Yeah, I
It's
am
so good.
stoked. It's
Yeah,
big.
stereo. It's amazing.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm excited. It's probably gonna be a little bit before I film this. I have a few things above it in the queue, but I'm really super stoked, and big thanks to Old Blood Noise for sending me that to check out. I always enjoy their pedals.
No, I do too. Thank you guys. It's
Mhm.
amazing the stuff you guys do. It's unique. They're really a joy to play. They sound so good.
They sound so good.
It's so good.
That's what's most important. You
Yes.
love you'll love it when good people make good products
Yeah,
that
they're
you're
really
you're
good
happy
people.
to be a shill for.
Yes.
I'm just such a shill. Such a shill. But yeah, that's about we're about an hour. We can't really
Yeah,
keep
like,
going.
we totally took out this hour. Good job, good
Oh
job.
man, like yeah, sorry. We should put the break like between guitars and effects and amps. I don't whatever. I
It's
hope
alright.
y'all
You
don't have
know
to forgive
what?
us.
You know what? Next week will be, like, the holiday shopping, like,
Yes.
suggestions. That's more
Oh,
of what my list is. So maybe, when you guys hopefully you'll tune in next week, and my list, you know what? I'll add a little bit more to it because I didn't include, like, monitor speakers. I was thinking about should I?
ooh.
So it's like I
Yeah.
added some things like recording gear if you're starting out, like what you may be looking because some of them actually do have some good deals at least for getting it, a little bit off than its typical price. So yeah, I kind of went into different categories, thinking about obviously people beside myself and new releases. Who knows what next week is now? So maybe I'll add if anything else comes out this
Oh
week.
man, who
Um,
knows?
yeah, who
I
knows
don't.
at this point? But yeah, figure next week would probably be like before Black Friday, like what kind of to
Yeah.
be on the lookout for if you're looking for certain things.
Yeah, next week will be this will come out on the 15th, and then Black Friday is the 25th. So yeah, it'll be good
Yeah,
timing.
good timing.
Maybe we'll even know about some sales by then. Well, thanks again, Joe, and to everybody out there. Thanks for listening/watching.
Thanks for understanding.
Until next time, my name is Emily.
I'm Joan of Heart.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.